Why do we care about political elections?
It's quite important. I mean, if you're not using your voice, then you're letting other people speak for you.
Unionism is about bringing democracy to our workplaces, about ensuring that the voices that need to be heard, those of the workers and their families are. And the same goes for our system of government. You know, if we don't participate, the rich and the powerful, those who do not have our interests at heart, are allowed to dictate the direction of the country.
We have the numbers. You know, we always look at these polls and, oh, everything's so even. And, you know, this race is tied and that race is tied. The long and the short of it is, we have the numbers. We have got to get individuals energized and get them out to actually exercise their right to vote. It's their voice. Rallying gives you a voice, but the vote stamps it. It includes you in the total number.
One of the things I know that we here in our local is I don't have time to go vote. And, you know, here in California, we're lucky every single voter is mailed a ballot. And you, like, I got mine 2 or 3 days ago. One way you can save time is go to your state or local labor council. They're going to have a voter guide. Use that to help you. Those are going to be pro-worker candidates.
We have the ability, we just have to do the research. And again, like Doug said, some of that research is already done. We can go to our local central labor councils or our local AFL-CIO and get in touch with them for resources.
We have to continue to relentlessly advocate for our members, not just in negotiations, but also where our country's laws are made. Fighting that fight in the political arena requires us to identify and support politicians that prioritize issues affecting IATSE members and rally against those politicians who do not.
You research the candidates, and if they're incumbents, you get to research their voting record. If they're not, you get to research issues that they're actually standing up for. And more often than not, it's not worker issues, or they're being really transparent that they're not for workers.
Go to an organization that you agree with, and they'll have a voter guide. Like for me here in California, I go to the Equality California, and they have a voter guide. And I take the Labor Council, the Labor Council, and the Equality California, and I put them together.
Who you vote for is your right and your choice to make. Yet, it is incumbent upon the international to help you make an educated decision by providing the perspective of your union on who we think will best represent your interests as an IATSE member.
I think it's really important to pay attention to what your union's saying. They've done the research, they're paying attention, they have your best interests at heart. But you should do your research. You should know what issues affect you and what matter to you and your family.
We have people who've supported the PRO Act. That's a great indicator that they are for workers. The right to organize, or even locally here, we have statewide recognition that was given to state and federal workers, which equaled 12,000 union jobs.
This is a midterm election. There's a lot of people on the ballot, and you may be in an area where you're like, well, my congressperson or my senator, they're going to easily get elected. You know, we're in a very liberal place, and they're going to get it. So I'm not going to vote. But there are so many local people that also state and local that you should be voting for.
We work odd hours. We don't have predictable work schedules. And sometimes, you know, our folks feel that they don't have time to get to the polls and vote. There's a bunch of studies that show when we know how and when we're going to vote and we've made a discrete plan, we are much more likely to do so. So I want to plug our IATSE voter toolkit. You can go to iatse.co/vote and find all the information that you need to cast your ballot on, or in some states before election day. The toolkit includes important election dates and deadlines. Doug mentioned, you know, it's a good practice to just make sure that you're registered to vote, to check your registration status. It's easy. Our tool includes, you know, a button that'll redirect you to your state website to do that. You can also register to vote, learn more about absentee and mail-in voting, track your ballot, finding your polling place, and much more. In fact, it also includes the link that was sent in by Brother John Gates so that you can look up the voting records of your local representatives and senators.